Well. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Garrett. And I see Carlos in here. What up, Carlos? Welcome to the stream. Jeez. Yeah, guys, I got real busy yesterday during my regular job, so I couldn't take my lunch at a decent time. So no show, but I still took the time to stack. We stacked for the DCA, regular DCA of the show, and I also stacked for the 100 stack challenge. So we'll review those during the stack recap. Let's get started. Let's see. So the price of Bitcoin has gone up since last time we talked, and it made it as low as 62,400, which is crazy. Like if you're new to Bitcoin, it might freak you out and be like, wow, that's a big dip, right? But the way things are going, these dips are, like I said before, these dips are gifts. So if you have any little extra you want to DCA, this is a perfect time to get some Bitcoin on the cheap. Let's look at the sat strength and get going with the normal schedule for the show. Here we go. Sat strength. All right, so yeah, see, today we're like above 1,500 satoshis for $1. It's crazy. So the price of Bitcoin is $64,916 today, and you can buy 1,540 satoshis for $1. What a deal! What a deal! So you're walking down the street, minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll have. Oh, it's over 15 satoshis. Let's go. So almost 15 and a half satoshis for a penny. We got as low as 13 and a quarter satoshis for a penny. What up, Leonard? Good to see you in here. Hope all is well. So yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day to stack. If you're new to the show and trying to figure out what the heck we're talking about, when we say stack sats, sats is short for the word Satoshi. Satoshi is what you call a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like you call 1 cent a penny, you call a fraction of a Bitcoin a Satoshi or a sat. A dollar has 100 pennies, and a Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis. So don't be intimidated by the price of Bitcoin at 64,000. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once. You can buy it in fractions, and those fractions are called Satoshis, and we stack them here on the show Monday through Friday. Okay? Today they're as cheap as 15 satoshis for a penny. It's crazy. It's a crazy good deal. Crazy good deal. All right. Hope you guys are doing well. What up, Paul? Let's go. Good to see you in here. Paul in here. We got Leonard in here. We got Carlos in here. We got Garrett in here. How was your weekend, guys? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Did you guys continue to stack? Did you stack a little extra during the dip? Let me know. I did. I did. I stacked crazy on the first of this dip. So this dip happened the first time this dipped. I mean, it's dipped pretty hard in the past couple of days. There it is, like on Tuesday. No, it was like on Monday. On Monday, I added a little bit more to my stack, significant amount to my stack. But all right, so let's jump into the next segment of the show that we like to call Why We Stack. Why we stack. Okay, so today, instead of putting a bull on the thumbnail representing that I'm bullish on Bitcoin, I put a Minotaur. I'm beyond bullish. I'm like half bull, half man. Minotaur. Yeah. The way things are going, this is the tactics they use to get people to sell their Bitcoin for cheap, while the institutions gobble them up. You know, those institutions have to comply or have to meet a percentage. No, I did it with the AI, Garrett. But I've drawn some Minotaur back in my day. But since the price is high, and these big institutions have to get their fill, right? it's sometimes they'll do this kind of manipulation to get their sats cheaper, right? They want cheap sats just like we want cheap sats, right? But they have enough money to move the market, right? And so what happens is people that are new to this to Bitcoin don't understand the concept of true scarcity, and that once you have fractions of a Bitcoin or Satoshis, there's not going to be more of them beyond the 21 million, right? So people think that, you know what, I'm gonna sell it and I'll buy back in later, because they're treating it as a thing that's not scarce, right? They're treating it as a thing that, oh yeah, I'll get out of it, I'll just get back into it later when it starts to come back up, right? And it's not the way it works. It's gonna come a point where these institutions are gonna buy so much of it that there's hardly gonna be any left on exchanges, and they're gonna have to bid the price up really high just to motivate people to sell it, right? And if you're selling, why would an institution that's designed to extract as much value as possible and make money for their investors, why would they pay you whatever amount for your Bitcoin? They wouldn't pay you whatever amount for your Bitcoin if they knew that it was going to be at a loss, right? They're going to pay you whatever amount you're willing to sell it for, because they understand how scarce it is, and they understand that it's going to keep going up in value relative to the economy, relative to whatever money we end up on. If the dollar somehow gets saved and we stop printing money and it becomes valuable again, right? We might still, you're still not going to have the scarcity that Bitcoin has. BTC fair price is in the millions, says Carlos. There you go. And so if that's the case, then yeah, respect your sats. Exactly. That's a really good point. Is that you're stacking, and these kind of dips are designed to scare people that got excited and bought when it hit all-time high, or when it's about to hit all-time high. And they're like, yes, it's about to hit all-time high. Once it hits all-time high, it's going to rocket to outer space, right? And I get excited. I think about that too. But I also understand that there's the way the market flows. There's different things that I don't completely understand. I don't fully understand, and I don't need to fully understand them to know that the government's going to continue to print money. They're going to continue to debase the dollar, and Bitcoin's going to continue to go up in value, right? I understand that. So when the price dips right here, it dipped what? How much percentage does it dip since the all-time high? Since the new all-time high. Let me check real quick. I'm going to give you the actual number here. Okay, so it hit as high as, okay. Once we broke into all-time high, we hit about 73,800, right? And then it dropped all the way down to where it is now. It is at minus 12%. So it dropped about 12%. And yesterday or this morning, yesterday it dropped as low as 15%, right? So if you're new to Bitcoin and you're coming from the world of like stocks and investing in stocks, for a stock to drop 15%, it's pretty incredible, right? It's pretty crazy. Like that company's in trouble, right? But in Bitcoin, a 15% move is not a big deal, right? It's nothing, right? But again, if you're new to it, you don't understand it. You see it, you bought high because you're excited. You got manipulated into buying high because the excitement, FOMO kicked in, right? And then greed kicks in, and then the market maker drops a price. However they drop the price, who knows how they do it, but the price dropped, right? Maybe it's people taking profits that made it above, that were holding from 50,000 and it got up to 72,000, and they're stalling now to take a little bit of profits, because they also don't understand that Bitcoin is scarce and you don't use it to make money. It is the money, right? So, and you get the people that bought high, and the price drops like this, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know enough about Bitcoin to be, to have diamond hands. I don't know enough about Bitcoin to understand that this is common and that it's normal for the market to correct like that, because it's getting rid of all of the shorts and stuff, right? And it's also trying to scare you out of your sats. So you bought at 72, you see the price drop 15% down to 62, like $10,000, and you have money in Bitcoin and you're thinking to yourself, holy smokes, how far down is this thing gonna go? I better get out before I lose it. Before I lose another 10%. I'm already down 12% or 15%. I'm already down 15%. Let's get out of here before I lose any more of my money, right? And that's when you feel the fear, right? And that's exactly what the market maker wants. He wants to lower it down a little bit, and he lowers it down again a little bit more to get your attention, to get you to talk about it, and then he lowers it down like a third time to get you like really scared and sell out of your position at a loss. And he pockets the difference between when you bought at 72,000 and when you sold at 62,000 or 63,000 right now, right? So the whole point of this episode is to get you to understand that you got to diamond hands it, baby. Okay, you got to hold on to your stack, and like Carlos was saying, respect your sats. Don't sell a single sat. Don't try to trade. If anything, if you have liquidity, and you're on the Bitcoin hodl gang, then these are the perfect times to add a little extra to your DCA. If your DCA is normally $20, maybe double it, maybe triple it, right? Whatever you feel comfortable with. That's not going to put you in a bad situation that you do have to sell sats. These are the times when you can really lower the average entry for your position. But that said, we're DCAing every day, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, as far as a Bitcoin price goes, don't let the ups or downs sway you. Continue with your schedule, and the plan is working. Okay, we're gonna check out our show stats, our show stacks, and talk a little bit more on this topic here coming up next. Let me just shout out. I got Carlos already. Hard Huddle in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Hard Huddle. Hope you had a good weekend. Good to see you in here. And yeah, yesterday I stacked, and today I'm gonna stack, and I've been stacking continuously for the next 100 days, right? I don't even know what day we're on, but we're doing the 100 stacks challenge. So let's look at our stack recap, guys. Let's do that. It's time for the stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking sats. We actually do it Monday through Friday, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, 3:30 Eastern. We're here live, hanging out with you guys, answering questions and stacking stats. Oh, also, guys, I took the time this weekend to consolidate some UTXOs and learn a little bit more about that. So let's talk about that during the Q&A section. We'll talk about UTXOs, how I thought they worked and how they actually work. And we'll see if you guys have any questions. Okay. All right. So our overall cumulative show stack was at 100%. Remember? But now it's down to 78%. Oh my God, it's going to zero. Let's sell it all. Just kidding. So when we're up 100% on our position, a 15% drop or whatever it was, doesn't, even a 25% drop. It's close to a 25% drop since we hit 100%, right? It doesn't faze me. It doesn't bother me at all. Like I don't feel afraid of losing on this position. If anything, I feel like, oh my God, here's an opportunity for us to get more sats cheaper, okay, to increase our sat count. Because in the end, all that matters is not this number, not this number, not this number. Is this number? It's these numbers here. It's the amount of satoshis that are under your control, the amount of digital real estate you have under your belt, on your cold storage, with your seed phrase that you don't need permission to move, to use, or to hold from anybody. Okay. All right, that is the cumulative show stack, and just for the year, we were up 50%, but now we're down 30. We're up only 36%. But come on. In 3 months, up 36%. Yeah, I'll take it. Yes, please. Right. And so that's positive. The one thing that's in the negative right now is our 100 stacks challenge. But our 100 stacks challenge is not over. This is just the volatility of Bitcoin. But for the most part, the volatility right now is mostly trending up. So we are currently at a minus 8% on our 100 stacks challenge. And this is not doing us a favor for people that are kind of looking into this and looking at it and say, well, I'll just keep the cash, right? But hang on, because this is not a number that's set in stone, because we have not sold our sats. This is unrealized gain, unrealized loss. Okay, so we're down -8%, but we still have our sats, and we'd rather hold sats than dollars anyway. Okay, so we're gonna hang on to those sats, and as this little dip comes back up, we're gonna get cheap sats now, and we're gonna blow this -8% out of the water, I believe. Okay, so real quick, for those of you that are new to the show, when we stack $20 a day for the normal DCA Monday through Friday, and we have a challenge going on right now. It's called a 100 stacks challenge. We have lines 1 through 100, and you have to fill out one line per day. You can choose any line, whatever you feel comfortable with, but it's got to be a line each day. Okay, and today we're gonna do line number 90. Okay, so it's 3, 19, 24, and then we're also gonna DCA. Since our average buy price is since our average buy price is below the price of Bitcoin, then we're only gonna buy a $20 stack today. Even though I feel like we should do more. All right, that's it. That's the status update of the current stacks, of the stacking situation here at the Stack Stats Show. Now there's only one thing left to do, and you know what that is. It's time to stack some sats. All right, boys, here we go. Let's get to work. All right, so I'm gonna buy, first off, a $20 stack for our normal DCA. We get this preview going here. I'm gonna copy this preview right there and put it into my show notes. Today's episode 182. Sorry I missed yesterday, guys. I had to be mining fiat to buy these sats so that I could stop mining fiat someday. Okay, so that purchase is set up and it just changed on me. Copying it again. All right, coming back here to set it up before it kicks me out. Am I frozen? There it is. All right, here we go. Cut the music. Drum roll, please. Buying some Satoshis, $20 worth of Bitcoin right now, live during the stream. What could happen? Okay, while that's going, I'm just gonna hit that. While that's happening, I'm going to set up the next purchase. So that's getting executed. Okay, buying the next one. And today this is the purchase for the 100 stacks. If you're curious about how I'm doing this, you can type in !100 stacks in the chat and you'll get a link to the spreadsheet that I'm using to track it. I'll show you the spreadsheet in a second. So here's $90 for line number 90 of the 100 stacks. Interesting. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Oh. I might need to reboot my computer before the next stream. Okay, so we're doing $90 for the line number 90. Let me get the preview and track that. Boom. Copy that. Paste it. Boom. Do you have to wait 10 days to be able to withdraw? Yes, I do. Browse. All right, here we go. Doing the 100 stacks purchase for $90. Boom. All right, we'll let that sink in. And while that's happening, let's put up our chill music, because when you stack, you chill. All right. Did you have to wait 10 days to be able to withdraw? I have to. Yeah, same here, Carlos. I do. I have it set up so that whenever it hits 0.01 Bitcoin, it automatically withdraws to my cold storage off of exchange. And that takes, well, let's update the spreadsheet, and then we'll get into this, the conversation of cold storage and consolidating UTXOs and all that good stuff. 24. So today we bought at 64946. 64946. We bought $20 worth, and we got 0.000. Let's go. 3 0 4 8 7. We're up. We're at 30,000 sats again. Let's go. That's kind of nice. It's nice to see 30,000 sats for $20 again. Okay, so 30,000 for 187 satoshis on today's $20 buy. Not bad at all. I'll take it. And then that brings us up to 3.733 million satoshis, close to 3.75 million satoshis, almost there. Almost at 4 million satoshis. Pretty awesome. And then for the overall stack for the whole lifespan of the show, we are at, yeah, see yesterday's buy. Wait, oh, I didn't put yesterday's buy in. Hold on. I didn't put yesterday's buy in, so let's put it in today. Boom. And that goes. I have it here somewhere. Okay, that went through. Okay, yesterday's buy for $20 was 318. 318 24, and I bought at I got a juicy one, 67,258. That was yesterday's. Wait, 67,000. Yep. $20 worth. Oh, come on. That's my formatting. 0.00029,439. That was for yesterday. All right. I gotta put it in this one too because I missed it. Because we are here. No, I got it. Yeah, okay, I just didn't copy it over to the other form. But we're good, we're caught up. Okay. There's our stats. That's our update. And not bad. 14, almost 14.5 million satoshis here for the show in total. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We're getting there. We're getting there for sure. Okay. Let's talk about consolidating UTXOs. Because we talked about this a little bit on Friday. Does anybody have any questions on what we've done so far? If you do, please type it into the chat. If you're having trouble with your setup, let me know, or jump into our Discord server. I'll put it in the chat. Jump into our Discord server, ask questions. I was in Discord the other day helping somebody set up their wallet. I like the low. Yeah, the low fees right now are nice. Oh, the low fees of Swan, yes. The zero withdrawal fees are really nice when you're moving it to cold storage. Okay, all right. Let's talk about consolidating UTXOs and the misunderstanding I had before, the misconception I had before. I thought that if I used an address multiple times, it meant that my UTXOs were one. I thought. Well, let's go back a step. Okay, first let's go back a step. So, what's a UTXO for somebody that's new? It stands for unspent transaction output. Unspent transaction output. So the way it works is this way. Let's say hard hodl. Let's say I have a Bitcoin address that has 2 Bitcoin in it, and hard hodl and I'm going to send hard hodl 1 Bitcoin. Okay. And so when I do that on the Bitcoin network, I send one, I generate a transaction, a send transaction. And what the network actually does, I send all the Bitcoin in my address, in all my 2 Bitcoins, and it's got 3 outputs. One output goes to the fees for the transaction. One output goes to hard hodl because I'm sending to him, right? And the third output in this scenario is the unspent portion of the Bitcoin in my address, and that goes back to me. Okay, so that is UTXO, an unspent transaction output. Okay, it's basically your change. If you were to pay with like $100 bill, you pay the taxes and then you pay for the thing you bought, and then you get the change back. That's the UTXO. Okay, for me, it's that you're trying to buy with Binance. Most exchanges don't work over. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Carlos, what part of the world are you in? If you don't mind me asking. And I think you might have told me before. Is it Ecuador? I'm spacing. So you have UTXOs now, right? So whenever you receive Bitcoin to an address, you get an output from a transaction, right? And that output lives in your wallet ID, right? But that output, yep, I got it, nailed it. But you can have more than one output to the same address, because let's say I sent hard hodl a Bitcoin one day, right? And he gave me the address to send it to him. I send him the Bitcoin, and then the next day I have to send him another Bitcoin, right? And he gives me the same address. Well, those two transactions generated 2 UTXOs in that address. Okay, so a UTXO is different than a receiving address. I assumed that a receiving address was the same as a UTXO, and as long as you kept using the same receiving address, it would be in the same UTXO. But that's wrong. You can have one receiving address with multiple UTXOs going to it, depending how many transactions have gone to that same address. Okay, so I thought I was avoiding fees by using one address on the, you know how we have the Swan set up to send my Bitcoin to a cold storage every time it hits 0.01 Bitcoin, right? So the problem there is that I was assuming that I had one UTXO that just kept growing, right? So UTXOs don't just grow like that. You have to actually do a transaction to get them to consolidate. So once I figured that out, and I jumped into my software that I use to run my wallet, and you're able to see the different UTXOs that are and they're each associated with whatever wallet they landed in. Okay, so you can have one wallet address and like a bunch of UTXOs. So for example, in this example we're using here, since we do this on the show anyway, when I buy Bitcoin on the show, I'm buying $20, $50, $100, whatever. And once my total on the account hits 0.1 Bitcoin, and those purchases have cleared the 10-day waiting policy that Swan has, it generates a transaction from Swan to my cold storage wallet. Okay, I've been using the same address, right? And so what ends up happening is now I have a bunch of UTXOs associated with that one wallet address, my cold storage address, but they're all 0.01 Bitcoin instead of what I was thinking was I would just have one fat UTXO because I'm using the same address. That's not how it works. So today I went into my software, I looked at the actual UTXOs that are associated with that wallet, and there was a bunch of them. There was like 50 or 40 UTXOs with that one same wallet receiving address, right? Which is basically the whole history of my Swan purchases that we've done here on the show. Okay, so what we did is I went through, I chose all of the UTXOs associated with that address, right? And then I made a new transaction on the Bitcoin network to send all of those UTXOs to the same address, right? And so now you have all those UTXOs, like 40 or 50 of them, that are zero point 0.1 Bitcoin getting condensed and sent in one transaction to the same address. But what ends up happening is now all of those separate UTXOs are one fat UTXO for that address. Okay. And so now what the point of that is, it's a double-edged sword. It's like a balance. It's a balance. Okay. If you have UTXOs that are small, less than 0.1, 0.2 Bitcoin, then you run the chance of in the future when the Bitcoin gets more expensive, not having enough money, not having enough Bitcoin in your UTXO to pay the fee to spend it. So in essence, becomes not trapped, but it becomes more expensive to use than it's worth using. Okay, like say it costs you $2 to go to the store and spend $1. Would you go to the store and spend $1? Right? Probably not, because it's gonna cost you $3 just to get. It's gonna cost you $2 just to get there. So in essence, that dollar doesn't get spent. That's kind of the idea. Okay, so now that I've consolidated all those UTXOs, like when we go to the when we talk about the strength of Bitcoin, and we go into the screen here, the fees right now are super low. See that? So this is how much 15, 17, 21 sats per V byte of data to write to the block, right? And when you're writing data to the block, remember, my consolidation transaction for my Swan deposits to my cold storage, since I had to write so many addresses, it was going to be like 20 or like $20, right? Like $20 to write all those addresses, to put all those, each address that you're consolidating counts as an input into the transaction that you're trying to get on the next block. So the more inputs you have, the more expensive your transaction is going to be. But even with all those transaction fees, even with all those different UTXOs that are getting consolidated into one, it at a medium pace, like the average, like a regular average time would have cost me $20. But I chose like the not in a rush one, so like one step down from like the middle, and it cost me $10 to consolidate the UTXOs for my Swan account, right? Or for my Swan cold storage deposits. So $10, it sounds like a lot, but the amount of money that's been moved in from Swan to my cold storage, it makes sense. It's not even a fraction of a percent. So it's really good. Anyway, any questions so far? I hope I didn't make it even more confusing. So let's see what Garrett said. Garrett says, yeah, that's why I'm waiting to stack about 0.1 or 0.2 BTC before I pull it from Swan. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, Garrett. It turns to dust. So yeah, you're basically trusting Swan for that Bitcoin, and if they don't go out of business, I mean, it's that's where it's like a trade off, right? It's a trade off. Like if you moved it to your account, if it did like 0.0, yeah, 0.05 instead of 0.1, and then consolidated two UTXOs into one to make it a 0.1, right? Is paying an extra $5, or I don't know. Yeah, I guess $5 depends. I guess depends on the fees at the moment, but is not paying the consolidation fees of your UTXOs better than the risk of Swan going out of business and keeping your 0.09 Bitcoin? Wasn't it where you can send out and back to your address to consolidate? Not a, but yeah. That's in essence what most people are doing, but they call it consolidating. They call it consolidating UTXOs because it sounds cool, right? And really, what's happening there is you're basically, I guess it is consolidating UTXOs, but it's like more. It sounds more technical. It sounds more technical, right? If you're keeping any amount on an exchange, you're trusting. Yep. If you self custody, you're verifying. Correct. That's correct, Hard Huddle. So there's a balance there, right? Like if I considered bumping up mine to 0.01. Sorry, to 0.1. But no, that's a lot. I'm still sticking with 0.01, especially right now that the fees are not too bad. I could continue to consolidate, right? And as long as these freaking wizards don't start doing the those stupid what are those called again? Never mind, don't even say the name of those things. Those BRC tokens on the Bitcoin network and clogging up all of the blocks. Our fees should be okay. So I've gone through, I've consolidated all of my accounts. I've consolidated all my accounts. It took me, once I figured out how to do it and what I needed to do, it took me about 20 minutes to take care of all my stuff, right? So Strike does not withhold your Bitcoin, and also integrates a Lightning wallet. Never trust. Hard hodl. If I buy straight up on-chain Bitcoin and from Strike, and it's in my Strike app, can I automatically send it out via Lightning? Or is there a different process to convert it from Lightning to convert my sats from on-chain to Lightning? I have the app installed, but have never bought from Strike yet. But that's a good way to get sats. To get sats without setting up a node, I guess. If I buy, so the question again is on Strike, if I buy on-chain Bitcoin, can I send that on-chain Bitcoin out via the Lightning Network? I think it's probably a no, right? Anyway, I'll wait for you to answer, but we'll keep the show rolling. Yeah. Okay. So exciting news. That's what I learned this weekend. Yes, you can send it within seconds of buying. Let's go. The end goal is to mine it. So your electric company is your exchange. That's true. That's very true. Yeah, so with all the regulations stuff coming through, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, but mining it is fun. Mining it's a good way to go. All right. So I think we're at a good point. It's Tuesday. Don't remember to stack. Remember it's Stacko Tuesday. So remember to stack. Remember to stack on Stacko Tuesday. Get a taco, get a burrito, whatever your favorite meal is. Sorry I missed yesterday. I'll be back here tomorrow and continue to stack. Okay. If you're doing the 100 stack challenge, keep it going. Remember, you don't have to go all out. You can do the lower lines, the easier lines if you're in a bind, but try to do it without missing a day. It's 100 continuous days of stacking. Okay, stacking like a maniac. The electric company accepts Bitcoin. They should get on the Bitcoin train for sure. All right, boys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later.